Mamoswine EX is the most underrated card from Journey Together, especially in expanded beta on TCG Live, when you can ochre anything in the game and tank through your opponent's hits. Let's go take a look at the list. Mamoswine EX is a 340 HP stage 2 Pokemon and has the attack Rumbling March, which does 180 damage plus 40 more damage for each stage 2 Pokemon on your bench, all for the cost of 2 fighting energy, not to mention its ability Mammoth Hauler, which allows you to grab any Pokemon from your deck and put it into your hand. We can also take less damage from our opponent's attacks thanks to Stone Energy, which means fighting Pokemon take 20 less damage, and this stacks, so if we have 2 of these attached to Mamoswine, we take 40 less damage. Our A-spec of choice, Hero's Cape, means Mamoswine gains plus 100 HP, meaning it can have a max of 440 HP. So how can we make this work? Well, we play Archeops with the Primal Turbo ability, being able to accelerate 2 special energy from our deck to one of our Pokemon. We can get this easily into play thanks to the most broken stadium, Professor's Research Lab, allowing us to get 2 of its previous evolutions, Archen, straight onto our bench and then end our turn. We play 4 copies of Arven to grab some of the tools like Hero's Cape, Buff Padding, Air Balloon and Forest Steel Stone, which goes really well with Lumineon V that we play in the deck to get any supporter we like. We also rely on Rare Candy to evolve straight into Mamoswine EX, and we can use Buddy-Buddy Poffin to set up our Swinubs. Fezandipiti EX allows us to draw 3 cards if our opponent knocked us out during their last turn, and Klefki allows us to slow down our opponent by shutting off basic Pokemon abilities, so that includes their Pokemon and our Pokemon. That is actually quite important to note, you'll see that in a minute. And yeah, Gengar allows us to add extra stage 2 consistency by putting it straight onto our bench if we have it in the discard pile. And finally, Max Potion that allows us to heal all damage off one of our Pokemon and then discard all energy attached to it, which is kind of insane because we can heal all the damage off Mamoswine EX that we have on it, and then discard all the energy and then accelerate them back on with Archeops in the same turn, which is, you know, really quite tilting for our opponent, and it's really funny to see. Anyway, enough of me talking. Let me know your thoughts on this deck in the comments below, and did I cook with this list? But anyway, it's time to get into some games. Let's go. Alright, looks like we're playing against Hydreigon EX. This could be an interesting match, but we do have a decent start. We've got Klefki in the action. It means that they don't have any access to their basic Pokemon's abilities like that Rotom V they've just put down. And they get a Pidgey out, so I imagine they're playing Pidgeot EX. Anyway, they just pass, that's completely fine. There's another Klefki. We have a pretty good start. We can just get probably 1 Swinub, I think 2's enough on the bench here. And then we can Arven, probably for, not the Rare Candy, the Stadium Nav, so we can try and go get that Professor's Research Lab off a couple coin flips, so we can get some Archons straight into play. I'll get the Hero's Cape onto one of the Swinub, 170 HP Swinub, who would have thought? We get heads on that Stadium Nav, that's brilliant. Means we can get a Research Lab straight into play, and we can probably just end our turn by getting some Archon straight onto the bench. It's actually quite important to note, whilst I've been recording these games, quite a few of my opponents haven't read Professor's Research Lab and don't realise that it ends their turn, so that's been very funny to watch. Sometimes they just like Professor's Research Lab for nothing and then end their turn, which is really funny. Yeah, perhaps they just wanted to shuffle their deck or something, or maybe check their deck for something, but anyway, it doesn't matter because that just ends their turn. Anyway, they managed to Rare Candy straight into a Hydreigon. Do they have the Super Boost energy? No, they don't. That is completely fine. We top deck a Lumineon, that's completely fine as well. I'm thinking I could Arven as well. Again, probably for a rare candy this time, and maybe a forest seal stone seems good. And we can rare candy into the Mamoswine, means we have access to Mammoth Hauler, means we can get the Archeops out if we need. That's the wrong Swinub, I needed to evolve the one with the hero's cape on it. That would have been very, very funny. Anyway, yeah, we can Evo Incense probably for this one Archeops into the hand and evolve straight into it. It seems pretty good for me. It's kind of sad that we priced one, and I forgot that Klefki shuts off the Lumineon ability. That is actually kind of funny. Anyway, we don't talk about that, folks. Big misplay. But we can go and get a way to switch out of the active, which is a bit unfortunate. I could have Arven for the Air Balloon on the thing on the Klefki, which I'm about to do now, but it's a bit late for that now. I can retreat straight into the Mamoswine, 440 HP it's got now. I can Mammoth Hauler as well, can thin out the deck. I might go get a Piloswine so we can evolve the other swine up on the bench. And I'm probably gonna Primal Turbo as well, go get 2 Stone Fighting Energy straight onto that active Mamoswine, which means theoretically this Mamoswine has a beefy 480 HP, which is absolutely mental. We do 220 damage with that attack, so that is absolutely mental. It looks like they're just going to quick search again and try and get the cards that they need into their hand. But honestly, who's knocking out a 480 HP Mamoswine? I don't think anyone is, especially in one hit. It's going to have to take them quite a few turns, especially with Obsidian. Only does 130 damage, and Stone Energy actually, you know, prevents damage by 20, so that's kind of crazy. But I think I'm gonna thin out the deck even more. We can get another Mamoswine straight into play, and we can accelerate 2 more Stone Fighting Energy with Primal Turbo, which is kind of crazy. So we have another beefy Mamoswine powered up that has a theoretical 380 HP. If you think about it, we can Mammoth Hauler again and probably thin out the Gengar at some point. We might want to discard that, and we're doing 260 damage now, and honestly I don't see a way back for our opponent. We take the first 2 prizes of the game, and we've just set up just like Thanos clicked his fingers. It's absolutely crazy. Anyway, I don't really see how they can come back, because they've evolved into the Zweilius, or however you pronounce it, arguably on the wrong one as well, because they've attached a counter gain as well to the Dino. They Rare Candy into the Hydreigon, fair enough, that shut me up. Anyway, they Arven as well. For an Earthen Vessel, they're going to get some energy into their hand. Wouldn't be surprised if they Crashing Headbutt for, what is it, 160 damage. So yes, it's still good. 160 damage isn't a lot when you have a 440 HP Mamoswine in the active spot, which is actually quite crazy to say, to be honest. I think Mamoswine is quite a slept on card, especially in this Journey Together format. You know, you have access to Archeops and Professor's Research Lab. We top deck a Max Potion as well, that's kind of funny. I'm actually just happy to, you know, do 260 again, anyway, and just, you know, get a massive hit into this Hydreigon. They're not going to be doing much. Anyway, yeah, I think Mamoswine is a pretty underrated card. You know, it does 300 damage if you have 3 stage 2 bench Pokemon on your bench, so that is kind of crazy, and it hits like the numbers of Charizard really easily, and any like dark type weakness as well, so it's just really good. And yeah, absolutely broken. So they're gonna get another Hydreigon into play, Okay, so they have 3 stage 2 Pokemon in play, so they still haven't super boosted energy yet. I'm really surprised. Anyway, they're going to start milling me now. That's kind of concerning. We can attach the Aurora Energy to the Lumineon, I've decided, in case we want to shuffle it back in, and I can get rid of the Gengar into the discard as well, which is really good. And I can thin out the deck potentially with Mammoth, but I'm just gonna, hit for another 260 and take 2 more prizes. We are 1 knockout away from winning this game now. And there's another Archeops off the prizes, so I can evolve that next turn, so we can increase the Rumbling March damage even further. And to be honest, all I need is a Gust and we win. They do have the Fezandipiti, which they have used. They do have the energy attachment for a crashing headbutt attack. They've crit searched as well. Yeah, it's the only win condition I see them having is trying to deck us out with crashing headbutt. Maybe that's why I've kind of attached to the Lumineon there in case we need to shuffle back in, which I actually might do, to be honest. So we have access to potential boss's orders with Lumineon Sign. They 0-6 Machinations, which means we have to discard cards from our hand until we have 3 left. So I'm going to get rid of those Buddy-Buddy Poffins, Research Lab and Klefki. And that just kind of helps me out really, because I've got a Max Potion as well. They finally knock us out. It's taken them 3 turns to do that or something, which is ridiculous. Could have Max Potioned, I guess, and then accelerated back, but I'm not sure it's really necessary. I've got another Mamoswine powered up, ready to go. But I think I'm just gonna, put the Lumineon in the active. Or actually, no, not right now. Put the Klefki up, because why not? Free retreat with the Air Balloon there. So, and we get a switch. That's kind of funny. We can evolve into Archeops. Can accelerate some energy. We can get the Gengar out from the discard pile. That's another stage 2 Pokemon in play, so that is very handy. I think I can just Primal Turbo now for a couple Aurora Energy and just chuck them onto the Lumineon. I think that is the play, so we can sort of like half hit it, half hit the Hydreigon, and then the turn after just go for KO. Anyway, we can just Aqua Return here for 120 damage. We shuffle the Forest Sealstone as well back in, and all the energy, which is really handy. And I can actually promote the Klefki back into the active, so their basic Pokemon have no abilities, which is really crazy. They're going to quick search for a card. That's completely fine. To be honest, I don't really see a way back from them. They're taking a while. I did cut, but I was getting quite annoyed. I was about to emote, which was kind of funny. They Arven anyway. Yeah, for just a Rare Candy, maybe into another Hydreigon. I'd be surprised if they're playing 4, but they play down a Headquarters. That doesn't affect us in any shape or form, which is excellent, and they just knock us out, and that seals up the win, because we can just go into this Mamoswine that's fully powered up and just do 300 damage, which is absolutely mental, and just take the knockout. We top deck the Lumineon as well. That's kind of funny. Anyway, Rumbling March, 300 damage, good night Hydreigon. Take the final 2 prizes, and that's GG's. Well played. Let's go into another one. Alright, we're getting into another game, and it looks like we're playing against Charizard EX. I wonder if this is just a standard player accidentally clicking on expanded. Anyway, we don't have the best of hands, but we do have an Iono as we're going second. Yeah, we can Iono 6, and we don't get any Buddy-Buddy Poffin or Swinub for that, but we do get the Research Lab, so we can just go get some Archen straight in onto the bench, which is kind of nice. Yes, okay, we can just do that, and we do have Arven for next turn for Buddy-Buddy Poffin potentially as well. They bench a Blissey V. I've never seen Charizard EX play Blissey V before, but this is very interesting, and Water Energy as well. That is very interesting. I wonder why that is. Anyway, wouldn't be surprised if they call family or something like that. Yeah, there we go. Get 2 basic Pokemon straight down onto their bench from their deck and just end their turn. Okay, it's our turn again. Thinking we got Arven. The game's telling us to Arven. We top deck another one. We can probably go. Oh, we could actually go get a Forest Sealstone and a Quick Ball. I need to check if Lumineon's in the deck though, so we will just preemptively go and get those into. Yeah, we might select those anyway. We can. There is the Lumineon as well. I did see that too, so that is good. So now I can quick roll away the Guzma Hala for a Lumineon and go get a supporter for next turn. I know I have the Arven already, but you know, we could get a boss maybe, or even an Iono. Seems good. Yes. Yeah, we'll get the boss, that's fine. And I've got the Forest Sealstone, so I can Forest Sealstone for a Buddy-Buddy Poffin to get a couple Swinub onto the bench. We do have the Rare Candy in the hand already as well, which is excellent. We can just go do that, I think, and then probably just pass, because that is honestly a cracked opening hand. We did play a poor hand very well there, so very happy with that. We can get rid of the boss's orders and then just pass. Yeah, never seen Blissey V nor Arceus V or V-Star played in Charizard EX before, so this must be a cook from my opponent. They're playing double turbo energy as well. Don't understand why you're not playing double colorless energy. Does that mean that there's no you know, damage reduction downside? Anyway, they attach Amulet of Hope. I've never seen this played in Expanded before, but anyway, it does allow you to get 3 cards from your deck straight into your hand if you're knocked out, which is kind of insane. Anyway, they're just Blissful Blast for 40 damage, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get that Water Energy onto the Blissey. That's completely fine. Anyway, we do have Arven now. This is another Stadium Nav. We could actually thin out if we wanted, but I think we've got to go get an Evolution Incense and maybe a Hero's Cape. Actually no, that's a lie, we need the Air Balloon for the retreat, don't we? So yeah, that seems good. We can get the Hero's Cape later. I mean, Mamoswine already has 340 base HP, as if that wasn't enough already. Anyway, we can just, you know, get that into play. We can also get the Archeops out with the Mammoth Hauler ability, as I mentioned before, which is kind of insane, and then accelerate a bunch of energy into play. I think this is just a really good start from us again, so yeah, really good. We can get the Archeops, evolve it, and then just go from there. You know what happens now. I know what happens now. I've played this deck so much now that I just know what happens with this deck. It's honestly cracked when it just sets up. It's absolutely broken. You cannot touch a 340 HP plus Pokemon, and we're doing 440 damage as well, which is crazy. Anyway, you can't touch a 340 HP plus Pokemon really. You can't OHKO it very easy unless there's weakness, but you know, Mamoswine is weak to grass, and who's playing a grass deck in this economy? Let's be real. Anyway, 2 prizes there. There's another Archeops off the prizes as well. Means we can evolve that next turn, so we can get another stage 2 into play, and you know, we can also slowly evolve into another Mamoswine on the bench by getting a Piloswine next turn with Mammoth Hauler. It's all looking up. Anyway, they are going to be able to Starbirth with Arceus V-Star, and they get a Rare Candy into the Charizard, so they're going to Infernal Rain probably some energy into play, and then just do a bunch of damage to me. But it's 340 HP. You're not knocking me out. You're just not knocking me out, bro. You just don't even think about it. Anyway, we do have Max Potion in the hand as well, so even if they do hit us, we can just like heal it off with Max Potion, then accelerate the energy back with Archeops, which actually could be a decent play here. They get the Pidgeot EX into the hand, and they're probably going to Rare Candy at some point, because they do have the star buff. Being able to search their deck for 2 cards and put them into the hand is kind of crazy. Yes. I've never seen Arceus V-Star played in this deck before. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I honestly think this board state is literally untouchable. Like, as soon as I get a second Mamoswine down, they should be quaking in their boots, to be honest. Anyway, they do Rare Candy into Pidgeot. I think they've just gone for a list that allows you to, you know, search your deck for specific cards that you need to, like Pidgeot EX, 1 card every turn with quick search, and then you've got the V-Star ability on Arceus V-Star Starbirth, which allows you to get 2 cards from your deck straight into your hand. So I think they've gone for that kind of build, but they don't realise that that is kind of slow, especially in the expanded beta format on TCG Live. You run into a load of decks that are really turbo and just really insane, like this Mamoswine deck. Anyway, they do just half hit us, and we top deck a Stone Energy. I think I've got to go for the Max Potion play, to be honest. Anyway, we can evolve into another Archeops. I can Mammoth Hauler for a Piloswine. As I mentioned, we're going to slow evolve into that Mamoswine on the bench, which is insane. And yeah, we've got a Max Potion. I don't see why we shouldn't. Must remember not to attach the Stone Energy first, as it discards all energy attached to it. Anyway, we can just do that, heal all damage off it. We've got a max HP Mamoswine now, and we can just accelerate another Stone Energy, our last Stone Energy from the deck, onto that active Mamoswine, and then just hit for 260 damage. Completely respectable. They're not going to be touching us next turn unless they like Gust or something, but you know, even then that just leaves our Mamoswine with max HP again. So it's absolutely crazy. They quick search. They've attached a double turbo energy to a Pidgeot, so that is quite interesting. They could Blustery Wind for some damage, but even then they're not doing a lot of damage because Stone Energy is broken. Anyway, they're taking their time to think about it. They're a Bird Keeper. Okay, they're going to switch into maybe Pidgeot, there we go, and draw a few cards. Haven't seen Bird Keeper being played for a while now. I remember when that card was in standard. That means I'm old, oh dear. Anyway, they just do 60 damage with Blustery Wind, because we're doing minus 40 for both Stone Energy and the double turbo energy, minus 20 again, so that's kind of crazy. We top deck a Research Lab, that's completely fine. I can thin out that deck with Stadium Nav. We get double tails, oh well, not much of a problem. I'm thinking we could thin out. We can thin out even more with Primal Turbo. We can get 2 Aurora Energy, probably onto Piloswine. I'm thinking about the Lumineon, but I'm not sure it's really needed, unlike last game. So we've got to go onto the Piloswine, I think, just to set up another Mamoswine for next turn. Yeah, absolutely crazy. We can Mammoth Hauler, probably to thin out, maybe, or actually no, I'm tripping. We can get a Mamoswine into play this turn. What am I on about? We can just do, we're just missing out on the KO here, 270 damage to this Pidgeot, because it has blimmin' resistance of minus 30, so we would be doing 300, which is enough to KO. They have quick search, they Churro. What are they going to Churro? Are they going to Churro the Charizard? That's completely fine. They discard the energy as well, which is completely fine. So that kind of guarantees that we are taking a knockout this turn, because they could retreat, I guess, into that single prize on the bench. What is that? Is that like a new ancient Pokemon? yeah, it's one of the Pokemon. Anyway, oh, they just passed. Never mind, they're just stalling. Anyway, we can thin out with Evo Incense. I'll go get the Gengar. That's completely fine, and I can just do 300 damage for a knockout. Not too shabby, if you ask me. I guess they could Rare Candy back into Charizard now, and you know, do some big damages. We're taking prizes here, but you know, 340 HP is a lot, and you know, it's just really crazy. And especially if you've got Hero's Cape or Buff Padding on, you get either plus 100 or plus 50 HP, which makes it, you know, you get a minimum 390 HP with one of those tools attached. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Anyway, they do evolve into a Charmeleon. That's kind of good. That means we can, you know, potentially go looking for a boss. But oh wait, I discarded it earlier. Never mind. Anyway, that's fine. We can just take a knockout on this Pidgeot now. They discard the Stadium. That's fine. I've got another one in hand. Not that I'm going to use it, but just to be a bit annoying. There's a Field Blower as well. We've got to get the tool now. We can get the Hero's Cape and thin out the deck, maybe with a switch, just in case something bad happens. Anyway, we've got a 440 HP Mamoswine again. That's kind of crazy, and I can just Rumbling March for knockout and go down to one prize. This is where Charizard kind of thrives. It can basically KO anything. We get another strong Stone Fighting Energy off those prizes as well, so that is kind of crazy. But yeah, this is where Charizard kind of thrives. We're down to one prize. I wouldn't be surprised if they disrupt me with an Iono, but they do get into a Charizard. The Infernal Rain, they've already got energy on the Charizard, so I wouldn't be surprised if they, you know, accelerate to Arceus V-Star. Yep, there we go. So yes, are they even knocking us out? Isn't my question, because we're taking 40 less damage. And they're doing what, 330, I think. Are they doing 330? So they're only doing 290 plus 120. I can't do maths that quick. We'll see. The maths will work out, I'm sure. Anyway, I'll whip the calculator out. Actually, no, there's no need. 290, 410 damage on that Mamoswine. We live another day. Oh my god, this is an absolute tank. What the hell? What am I witnessing? Mamoswine is a chunky little beast. Mammoths may be extinct, but trust me, they are tanky as hell. I mean, you gotta watch Ice Age, any of the Ice Age films. That Manny is just absolutely tanky. I mean, have you seen that film? It's absolutely crazy. Anyway, we can just accelerate to the Fezandipiti. I'm not sure it's really necessary, but we can just Rumbling March for 300, and we've got another Mamoswine powered up. We've got another Manny from Ice Age powered up, ready to go. So you know what's stopping me? Even in the post Ice Age era, Mamoswine is still going really good. Anyway, we can just promote this, and even though I do have the Fezandipiti online now, I can just end the game. So yeah, that's going to be GG, 260 damage. That's absolutely mental. What a deck this is. I've cooked with this deck, to be honest. That is well played. GG's. Mamoswine is the biggest, tankiest, beefiest mammoth there is in the Pokemon universe, and that statement remains no different in the TCG. Being able to OHKO anything, and just tank multiple hits, and heal all damage off with Max Potion is absolutely crazy. I really absolutely love this deck, and I highly recommend it. So go get yourself down there to the description and copy and paste it and all that good stuff. Yeah, it's such a good, fun deck. Let's go. If you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss another upload like this one. But until next time, stay strategic everyone. See ya.